Okay. So, like I said, what we're going to focus on today is just kind of the fundamentals of building your business, and in what way would I do that? So there's a lot of different ways. I mean, all of you, let's face it, you guys join for different reasons. And I think that's the coolest thing, is because when I see every single month, we see like a new wave of people come in. August was a very massive month, and September starting off. So it's September 3rd. And you should really have some ideas in mind of what you're looking to achieve and accomplish this month. See, where a lot of people fail in the beginning is they don't set those targets right away. And I'll tell you a bit about my story in terms of how that relates to what I was doing when I first started. Because, you know, when I started, by the way, in 2018, around September. So it was this time 4 years ago. I'm almost at my 4-year anniversary of being in this platform. And when I first started in this platform, I was broke. Number one, I was a biomedical science student. I didn't really have anything else going for me aside from school. I had, tried sports and that was really good, but I chose to stick to my comfort zone, which was school, and not take a risk and advance that. I had other interests and passions that I had at the time, but I didn't want to, again, get out of my comfort zone and make that happen. So one of the things that I started to realize was, when an opportunity came across my door in September, I think it was might have been September 9th. I should probably check that to make sure. September 9th, 2018. I looked at this opportunity and I said, you know what? I actually said no a couple of times. And to the person that wanted to get me started, like they were trying to, they're like, hey, Christian, let's go. I have this awesome opportunity for you that has to do with crypto and investing and all this stuff. And I was kind of like what? Like he's out of nowhere. Like, this is not a guy that knew anything about that, and randomly he's coming up to me and he's saying, I want you to learn about all of these things all of a sudden. So that approach in itself to me was a little bit weird. And I'm like, you know what? I mean, I haven't really been looking for opportunities in investment. I've been looking for other opportunities. And now that how old was I? I was 20 years old. I was like, you know what? I have a little bit of money from my job, even though it was just a seasonal job. And to be fair, it was a little bit of money, but I had so much debt that money didn't really mean much. But at the time, my money habits were so bad that I didn't really care. It's like, I have a couple $100, whatever. So I go into a classroom in my school with this guy, and he's sharing the opportunity, and he's telling me, you can build a business, you can learn how to invest, you can do all of these things. And I didn't really care so much what he was saying, but as soon as he said business, I automatically had the thought where I'm like, you know what? This is something that a lot of people want to get themselves started in. He mentioned network marketing, affiliate marketing. And I'm like, you know what? I've heard of this before. And this is something that I really think if now it's like a sign, right? After years of seeing it the first time, now I'm seeing it again at a better time where I could actually, make an adult decision and get started. So from the beginning, the reason I got started did not have to do with the products. It did not have to do with the services. It kind of had to do with the person, but more so it had to do with what my vision was. And all of you are at a point right now where you're starting your business, or you've been doing it for some time, and you're focusing so much on those little details, or you're focusing on, I got to make sure I explain each of our products for people interested in investing perfectly, like to a T. And if I don't, and I haven't used everything, then how can I share something like that? But you're forgetting the major key. Can we agree that all of us here, I see everyone in different faces, different backgrounds, different cities. I even see someone making, is that pizza? That's what's up. He's tuning in while he's working. I see people of a bunch of different backgrounds, right? And we each have our own story. And at the end of the day, we come across a platform, and all we're thinking is the potential of what this can give us. Right? The potential of what this can give us. So what does that mean what does that mean for the average consumer? What becomes the most important key in them buying something? It's always what they see the potential. And so let's say I'm buying a drink. A drink is, maybe I like a drink because I like it, but if I'm buying something that's more expensive than that, I'm hoping that it makes my life easier. Does that make sense? You're hoping that it makes your life easier. That's number one. And I'm going to really go through a few steps. It's like my own version of like the 5-step system on how to really launch this business for the first time and get your first exposure to hit your first target. And your first target, what's the first rank in our team, in our compensation plan? The very first one Y'all let me know. Influencer. There you go. Yep. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, you're looking and wondering how to make different levels of income on the team, then what are my targets that I'm aiming for? The targets are these milestones that we have built in within our platform. What's really cool is you can pretty much tell someone what income you're going to make based on the rank that you are. And it's a good place to kind of put yourself at, because you got to set clear specific goals. You got to know exactly where you're getting into. But the reason why I shared that story in the beginning is because it all starts with the vision. So you might not be the most talented, you might not be the most skilled, you might not have even a lot of money, but as long as you have the hunger, ambition, and more importantly, the vision that will keep you there every single day, regardless of how you wake up and how you feel, that's always going to be what keeps you moving forward and ultimately helping you see a lot of success. Does that make sense on how vision is so important? Because it all starts with that. That's number one. Number one is your long-term vision. Many people want fast success, and I'm telling you, if you want fast success, it's a fast road to failure. If you want fast success, it's a fast road to failure. And the reason why is because your expectations are out of whack. Your expectations are, I want to make money really quick. And if I don't make money really quick, I'm going to look for the next best opportunity to make money. If it was easy to make money, no one would want to make money. The reason why it's so desirable is because so little people actually have it. And that's where you got to really tune into, okay, well, if I want to achieve what 1% of people do, which I said on my last opportunity call, you got to be willing to do what 99% of people aren't doing today. And that, okay, so I'm getting started. I have the vision. Awesome, Christian. Now what do I do next that I have the vision? Now I'm in the platform. I'm doing this thing for real. I've invested some money. I have some skin in the game. What is the next step? The next step is very, very simple. And that's get a small understanding of a lot of things. Plug yourself into the community. And that's the best thing I can say is familiarize yourself. Okay, so step number 2 is familiarize yourself. That means getting on calls like this. That means talking to your mentor and asking them questions about what they can do to become successful. That means, testing out different social medias, or if you're more interested in the investing, that means looking into the Forex market, looking into the stock market, looking into the crypto market, whichever one that you're most focused on, to really get that knowledge that you need. Because if I tell you that today you're going to start, I don't know, cutting hair, and day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, you don't even step into the barbershop. Do you think you're going to learn anything? No, you're not. Now, here's the thing. You're your own boss. Is there a catch? Yes, there is. There always is. When you are your own boss, you have no one over your head really kind of threatening you to get fired. Can we agree that a lot of us have maybe done some pretty shitty jobs just because we were at risk of being fired and we needed that money? I definitely was. I didn't want to mess up, even though I hated what I was doing. Man, I was packing suits. I wanted to be the one buying the suits, and I was packing the suits. And I'd look at them and be like, maybe one day I can buy this. But I did, I share this story sometimes. Our manager, we called him the Winter Soldier because he had no emotion. It looked like he wanted to kill us all the time. So I didn't like that environment, but I got up out of bed every single day at like 5 a.m. to take the subway and then go to this job, which was downtown. And this was when I was I wasn't even 18 at the time. Or actually, I was maybe 18, 19. But you understand that you're willing to do things that you normally wouldn't do just for a job where the boss doesn't even really care what your last name is, and he's just looking at you as very replaceable, and you're just there to get the job done. But what happens when I'm in a position where I'm starting my online business for the first time and my mentors are actually looking out for me, but I'm failing myself to really keep myself disciplined on a daily basis? Can I ask any of the people that are working full-time jobs, who's working a full-time job right now? Show of hands. I can see the cameras. Show of hands. I see a few people. What happens, guys, what happens if you don't go into your job one day because you don't feel like it? Like, just because you don't feel like it, what happens? you're probably not going to be at the job any longer, to be honest. So then why would people, disciplinary action? Yeah, maybe if you're lucky. If not, then they might fire you, right? But what happens when you do it in this business? I think we can all answer this question. What happens if you do that in this business? You don't grow. Yep. The thing is, no one's going to fire you. Am I going to fire you? Definitely not. You can't get fired in this thing. As long as the biggest blessing of the industry that we're in is that the price of entry is so low, and the biggest downfall of our profession is that our price of entry is so low. You guys get what I'm saying? Because anyone can get started with an online business. And this is why when people say, oh, only 1% of people succeed in online business, you better believe it. Why? Because 99% of people are like 99% of people at the gym. They walk in and say they're going to do better, and they don't. If it's very easy to join, it's very easy to quit. Exactly. So now the spotlight is on you. What are you going to do from today? Are you going to familiarize yourself as soon as you get started to make sure that you're really following along with this plan to succeed? Right? So number 1 is vision. Number 2 is familiarizing yourself. And number 3 is setting clear, specific goals. Set clear, specific goals. Do not say, I hope I achieve financial freedom. I'm going to achieve financial freedom. I'm going to retire my parents. What's wrong with that? What's wrong is I'm not being specific enough, and I'm not setting a timeline to those goals. You will be kidding yourself if you tell yourself that you're going to achieve anything in life if you don't have a date to that. You guys ever hear the quote? It's like, it's a dream until you set a date or a timeline. So a lot of you might think $5,000 a month from an online business is a lot, which it is. $10,000 a month from an online business is a lot. $15,000 from an online business, $20,000 from an online business, $30,000 from an online business in a month, $50,000. How would your life change right now if you're making an extra $10,000 a month in your online business? You probably wouldn't have to work your job anymore, let's be honest. And if you're from a country like me, where I'm in Canada, and and the currency is much different, then $10,000 a month is a lot more for me. To my people in third world countries right now where you're tuning in, I don't even know what time zone it is for you, but I applaud you for being on this. You guys know what an extra $1,000 a month could mean. I said this on the opportunity call that we had on Tuesday. Did you guys know that 73% of Americans are $500 away from being in debt? A $500, let's say, unexpected loss or whatever, unaccounted for expense, will put people in debt. Always. What does that tell you about an extra $500 a month? That could be the difference between you going on no vacation at all, or at least one. An extra $1,000, extra $2,000, extra $5,000. I'm telling you from experience that I've seen people go in and out of this business, and I've seen that the people that stay the most consistent to themselves and stay true to themselves and stay true to that vision that I mentioned in point number 1 are the ones that make the most money. I come from a camp in 2018 where there was a lot of us trying to do this thing, and I'm one of maybe 4 or 3 people that are left to doing this thing. But every year we get better, and every year I find stronger leaders, and every year we create more new success stories. Or how many 6-figure earners did we create last year? 50. And this year we're aiming for 250. What does that tell you about the standards of the organization? Is that it's just kept on increasing. So when I say set a clear, specific goal, I really mean think deep and think to, okay, well, I have a big goal that I want to achieve, and then I have a smaller goal that I want to achieve. And you should be going into your notebook and writing down, I'm happy and grateful that I'm now earning, let's just say, $5,000 a month for my online business by December 31st, 2022. Or for some of you, that might be, I'm so happy and grateful that I've left my job, my full-time position by December 31st, 2022. Some of you might be, I'm so happy and grateful that I hit influencer on September 10th, 2022, which is a week from now. Really set these goals and manifest it. But don't just manifest it by sitting on the couch, manifest it by actually putting action towards it. Okay? So set clear, specific goals, set a timeline. Can we all do that today? Can we all do that today? After this call, can we set a clear, specific goal? Because I promise you there's going to be one that it's going to become very obvious after the end when I announce what we have going on. Okay? All right. Number 4 is, I'd say commitment and consistency can be kind of used both in the same line. That's about not making excuses. But you know what? I was thinking about this point, and I think commitment and getting rid of bad habits kind of goes hand in hand. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because I love that. Getting rid of bad habits and actually being committed. Some of y'all are focused on the wrong things and you wonder why your paycheck hasn't increased. Some of y'all are acting like version 1.0 of you and wondering why you're not version 2.0. Be real, all right? Or some of you are at 2.0, but you're still acting like 2.0, and that's why you're not at 3.0. It's kind of like an iOS update. I got a notification, I think it was 2 days ago, that there's an iOS update. And I was thinking to myself, like, it's pretty funny because I think these, like, I look at these updates, I don't even know what's going on. And I don't care, to be honest. I don't know. You can delete messages now and text. Some of y'all might like that. But here's the thing. You got to think about how you're constantly updating yourself. And literally just how Apple plans out when their next update is, you got to plan out when yours is. And how do I update myself in real life? What do I do? Let me know in the chat. How do I update myself in real life? There's a few things I can do, but there's two that I'm really thinking of right now that will help you starting today. That I swear, if you start this today and you implement this in your daily routine, your life will change in 30 days. There are two things that you can do to level up yourself and update yourself in real life. Number one is personal development. That's reading books. Yes. Then we got the first one, reading, right? Journaling is also very important. But reading books, listening to those podcasts related to how to build your business, watching YouTube videos of, very successful people, motivation, inspiration, but more so tactical skills. Because motivation is only going to get you so far, right? And that's a whole other topic for a whole other thing. But that is key. Always develop this, because this is what no one can take away from you. You can take away all my money, but you can't take away the mindset that I've developed over the last few years. And that's why I know that regardless of what happens, I will always be successful. And this is not just me. This is every successful person, or even you guys that have been doing this for some time, because there's some of you on this call that have achieved massive success. And you know this better than anyone, is that they can take your money away, but you still have this. And that's the most important asset you have. So you must be training this on a daily basis. I was speaking to a guy that makes upwards of $250,000 a month. He says making $250,000 a month or more, maybe now at this point. And I actually sent him an Instagram DM. And it's after watching one of his videos. And I said, hey, man, so I had a question about reading. I have a lot of people on my team that don't like reading. I personally love reading, but I hated reading before. But when I read about things that I enjoy related to the business, and I can see clearly that this is gonna help me develop, then I'm willing to put some time to the side. And that's what I've been doing for the last few years. He's like, Christian, you know what? He's like, what I did to really help me with this and also help my team is set a smaller goal. And every day I tell him to read 10 pages, only 10 pages. That's not a lot. In my mind, that, by the way, when I'm seeing this message, I'm thinking he's going to say like 30, 40 pages or something. He said 10 pages. But he said, what a lot of people aren't doing is they're not actually taking notes on what they're reading. So if I'm reading a book, let's say, I want to take notes on it. I want to highlight key points and then take notes of the highlights in that notebook. Then what I'm going to do next is, when I'm done the book, I'm going to look over all the notes that I made and only highlight the most important ones. And he's like, that's how I have unlimited trainings pretty much since, in the 20, 30 years that he's been here. He can go on a training. He doesn't need to prepare for it because he's read one book that he can give a training on. And I think that's really powerful. That's just one tip that I'm giving you, an extra tip when it comes to reading. Personal development is so key. But just as important as that is getting rid of bad habits. So who's brave enough to actually drop what bad habits that they have or had before they started this business? Let's see. Let's see what are some bad habits that y'all had. For me, one of the habits that I had that was not serving me, number one, was partying all the time. Right? Getting mixed in with the wrong crowd, getting myself involved in things I shouldn't have gotten involved in. As a guy, yeah, girls, yeah, vaping, yeah, definitely don't do that. Waking up 30 minutes before work, yep, sleeping in, that's a big one for sure. Smoking too much, vaping, partying, quitting smoking, being lazy, procrastination. How many of you guys wait till the last second to complete an assignment or finish something? When your parents used to tell you to do something and then you hear them opening the door and then you like rush, like your soul came out of your body to do what they did. I remember those moments. That's procrastination and laziness. But you see, a lot of these habits we have in common. But Does that mean like I'm perfect? Definitely not. Does that mean even Rakan's perfect? Definitely not. But what we've gotten it really, really good at is eliminating a lot of distractions that normal people have. Why do I say normal people? Is because if you signed up for this platform and you're on this call right now, you are not part of the same circle you had before. The same circle that you had before would get on a call like this and be like, what is this guy talking about? And what is this nonsense? What do you mean financially free? What do you mean $250,000 a month? What do you mean getting rid of habits? Why would I want to drop partying in my 20s? Most people don't understand this, but in this circle that we have, you have permission to think bigger. You have permission to think as high as you want. And that's why I'm telling you as a coach, and your team and your mentors will tell you this, is eliminate those bad habits before they start taking away from your success. Every bad habit that you have is like a rope tied around your waist. And the more that you have, the harder it is for you to move forward. But once you start eliminating them, you're cutting away at those ropes. And what happens when you cut them all off? By the way, a bad habit could be hanging around with the same people that don't serve you from before. I know it's hard. These are people you grew up with, but it doesn't matter because you're looking for something they're not. Every time I cut away at these ropes, it's easier for me to make steps forward. And the easier it is for me to make steps forward, the faster I'm going to get to my final destination. And whatever your final destination is, I'm sure we all have in common that I want to be financially free, or I want to be something that is above what most people have. That's what I really want to focus on. I want to focus on eliminating bad habits because let's face it, all of you have things that are really hurting you, whether you're distracted, right? Whether you're distracted, whether you're just not focused, whether you're lazy, whether you're focusing on a guy or a girl, or you're focused on partying or your old circle or whatever it is, that's taking away from your success. And I've said this for a long time, ever since I went to this guy's house. This is a mastermind that we did months ago. He brought that to my attention, and ever since then, I've been so consciously aware of that. So consciously aware of that. And for my leaders, by the way, you might not want to hear this, but your success doesn't mean anything. Your success doesn't mean anything in terms of if you've eliminated the habits or not. Because you guys know in momentum, leaders appear much better than they are, right? Right? You always want to improve. And I heard one thing, I think Kobe might have said it. I'm not sure who said it, but it was related to the reason why I'm so hard on my team is because I want them to be perfect. And I know that's not real, but the harder I am with them, the closer they will be to that. So if I pick at small things, then you will get better. It's like if a personal trainer is with you and they tell you, hey, why are you sleeping at this time? Or why are you eating this snack? You might think they're being like an asshole because they're being so extra about keeping you in line. But then what happens at the end is you get the result that you want. That's so important. Okay. And then number 5, which is probably the most important in terms of making money now, is showing the plan, or exposing people to the opportunity, getting out of your comfort zone and posting on social media, reaching out to people, getting that content out there. Any business in the world today functions off social media and a lot of exposure, and they want people through the doors. If you want people through the doors, then what you got to focus on is getting those people, getting their attention in the first place, right? If I want to get their attention in the first place, am I going to do a newspaper ad? Am I going to do a radio ad? Am I going to post a billboard? I mean, you can. Is it going to get you the best ROI in your investment though? Probably not. So what you're going to want to focus on is getting your face out there, getting your brand out there, or just finding a way to expose a lot of people to what it is that you're doing. You have a chance here to leave a legacy, and you have a chance here to really do the things that you really thought were dreams in your head. And I'm telling you that the difference between the person that has the dreams in their head and the person that actually makes them happen in real life really comes down to them actually getting out of their comfort zone continuously over time. And even something like showing the plan and getting on calls with your mentor, or just sending them a video or posting on your story. These are ways to continuously get out of your comfort zone. Is success easy? No, but it can be simple. And with all the tools that you have, it can be very simple. So get out of your head, start showing the plan. That's really, when it comes to the marketing side, that's the only way you make money. Through investing, yes, I want you to make money through trading and investing, of course. But the only thing is you don't want to chase the profits either. Anyone who's been here for a while knows that chasing the profits is the fastest way to lose the profits. You do that, it's going to run away from you. Once you get desperate, once you get greedy, once you get emotional, that's the worst thing you can do as an investor or a trader. Is you got to think about it similarly to your business. In your business, can I control my effort? Can I control my outcome? For the most part, I can. I can control the work that I do towards that. Can I control the markets? No. That's why we have the experts that send us the notifications and give us the education, right? But you got to treat them as different incomes, right? There's earned income, passive income, and investment income. Investment income I keep very different than earned income and passive income. And your residual checks are a mix of the two, earned and passive. They become passive as you build your business over time. But at the first time, in the beginning, it's very much earned. You were just putting in the work, putting in the hours to get your outcome. But let me ask you guys one last question. Don't you think if I talked to myself from 4 years ago and I looked at Christian from 4 years ago and I said, hey man, in 4 years from now, you'd have a business in over 45 countries, you'd be traveling the world for fun, right? And for business. And you'd be in a position to really do the things that you said you wanted to do. And I know I'm not done. And I'm just using me as one of many examples. It's not just me. I'm just letting you know that. It's not just me. Definitely don't want you to think that. But if I told myself 4 years ago that this was going to be the outcome of me putting in this work, would you take that? Or would you take the 40 hours of working a job that you don't like? What would you take? And for some of the people on our team, like I mentioned, like our 6-figure earners, Noor and Cuba, that were able to do it in less than a year or in 1 year, I'm telling you, every year we get better. Every single year we get better. And if you're brand new on this call, I wanna congratulate you because you're here at a time where everything is there for you, and the only thing stopping you from success is you. It's not the products, it's not the services, it's not the results, it's not the commission payouts, it's nothing like that. It's not the customers that want to get started, it's not your family, it's no one but you. You're the only person that will stop that. Back then, I could maybe make excuses because we were getting email notifications for alerts. We didn't have anything on crypto. We didn't have anything on marketing. It was really, really, really just, I can make a lot of excuses, but now it's just you. I'm telling you. So yeah, Anthony somehow still wants 7 figures on email alert. It just goes to show you might not even have the perfect system, but you can still achieve massive results. So there's really no excuse for you. And I'll leave it off on this before I drop the announcement. Is at the end of the day, you're doing this for something more than money. And I know we have a lot of young people on the call too. I noticed a lot of young people have been joining, like 18, 19, 20-year-olds. I'm going to talk to you from the perspective where I was at when I was 18, 19, 20. I'm telling you, you're going to have a lot of distractions. Your mindset's going to be in a different place. You're going to be focused on the wrong things, and the people around you are not going to get what you're doing. Right? They're not. It's just, it is what it is. Even people in their early 20s or mid 20s, most people don't understand what you're doing. Even people in their 30s and their 40s, people around them don't understand what they're doing. But I'm just talking to, as an example for the young people, and this applies to everyone though. But it's that you're doing this for something bigger than money. And I don't want you to think of money as the ultimate goal. Because if you think of money as the ultimate goal, then, once you make enough money to make you comfortable, then you have no reason to keep going on. When I started making $10,000 a month for the first time, I literally, this was it didn't make sense to me. I was like, why am I earning this much? But I was like, damn, this is a lot. I guess I can be comfortable. And to be fair, I didn't. I wasn't comfortable, but I had the thought in my mind for a split second where I'm like, you know what? I could just do this and be happy with this income. But then I realized, I'm like, but I'm doing this for a reason bigger than money that requires me to be way further than where I'm at right now. So really think to yourself of what that reason is. Everyone calls it a why. But I'm going to be honest, about probably 8 out of 10 people have a pretty bullshit why. It's not good enough. You have to think deeper, and you have to really, your why should want to make you have, it should give you tears in your eyes. And if you don't have a reason to do it to that level where you're not that passionate, you guys understand why professional athletes cry when they lose the final? It's because it meant that much to them. It meant that much to them. But some of you are just doing this as a hobby. Now, if your income goal is only a couple $100s a month, then this doesn't apply to you because you can't treat it like a hobby, sure, whatever. But if you're looking for financial freedom, then I'm not going to talk to you the same way I want to talk to them. Because financial freedom is a bigger conversation that many people don't achieve. So you're going to have to be talked to and understand in a way that most people don't understand. So that's really what I'm trying to say is have a reason that pushes you forward. Apply all of this stuff that I'm telling you. We always say that note takers are money makers, number one. So I hope you took notes. And number two, I really hope that you actually grab these notes and apply them later on. Okay, yes, this will be on YouTube, but I want you to take notes in the moment, because then let's say you watch it a second time, imagine how much better you'll retain the information and then apply it moving forward. This is a very simple plan. It's a very basic one, but it's enough to really get you to the targets that you want to achieve. So I'm going to share the thing that I want to announce. We don't have a set date for this yet, but this probably will happen. I think actually we'll be starting tomorrow. And this is going to be a 2-week campaign that we have, which will lead to another one. But this is going to be really good. And I think if you're new, or you're someone who's actually building your business, and you're trying to find duplication, you're trying to create duplication. If you're struggling with duplication right now as a leader, then this is going to really help you out. And if you're a brand new person and you're looking to really start making that income and just impacting a lot of other people, then this is going to be massive. Okay. So this is one of many flyers that we're going to have for, this campaign. We're going to be dropping a lot of stuff on a daily basis, but let me just put it in. I'm going to put it into GC Champions in a second. Okay. So y'all let me know in a second if you can see this. Okay. All right. So we have a campaign for the next 2 weeks. Okay. This starts tomorrow. And it's Project Influencer. This is the first of 2 steps that we're going to have in the month of September. Guys, what's the motto for September? What's the motto for September that we had last year? September to remember, right? September to remember. I remember September of last year was one of the most, I think it might have been the most successful month in the entire year for the company and for our team as well. So what we're going to be doing is focusing on creating influencers. And this is cool. If you're a past influencer already, then your incentive is to get people working on this. Every single influencer that is popped in the next 14 days is going to get a special gift from me. Okay? Every single one. I don't care where they are in the world, this will work. And there's no delivery. This will just be something that they can use right away. Okay? And the whole point of this is, what we're going to do is we're going to have daily assignments and daily tips dropped in the GC Champions channel. We're going to focus on creating as many influencers as possible. And the reason why is because if you have, let's just say there's about 30 people on this call. Imagine aside from me, 29 people get 2 people started. What happens to the size of your organization once that happens? Then what happens when they see this campaign? They're like, you know what? I want to run towards that prize. And okay, cool. I'm gonna also do the same, and I'm gonna show the plan. I'm gonna do everything that was said on this call. And then at the end of the 2 weeks, we're gonna have a qualified, influencer qualified only training. So I still hope to have many people there. It's an influencer only training that will happen with myself and Rakan. And this will happen at some point after, like in the middle of September. Okay. And this will be an influencer only training on how to get to platinum executive, diamond executive, and then a 6-figure income. This is going to be, by the way, if you don't know who Rakan is, he's $1 million earner. So you guys are going to have a millionaire on the call training you one-on-one, right? Well, on the training. So influencers, if you're not an influencer already, you can qualify for this. And we're going to do this. This is a GC Champions only campaign. And then after the 2 weeks is over, we have another campaign that will lead directly to one of the biggest boot camps that we've ever done online. And it'll be something that we use as a tool for all of our new elite members coming in. every elite member that joins GC Champions will have some crazy value, which I'm not gonna give away too much right now, but we're gonna add something at the end of this month that will help you guys with upgrades, that will help you with building more volume on your team, more leaders, more momentum, and ultimately driving in more traffic for your organization and your business. Okay, but the first step, I want you guys to focus on this. The first step, the next 2 weeks, starting tomorrow. So what day is it tomorrow? Tomorrow's September what? September 4th? Someone let me know. I lose the track of it. Okay, 4th? Okay. So starting tomorrow, we have 2 weeks. So on the 18th, this will be over. All the prizes will be distributed. And then there we go into the second half of September. We'll have obviously that boot camp. And then that will kick off the second half of September. And this will create the biggest wave of momentum that you've seen all year, 100%. But now it's really on you. Like I said, you're the only person that can stop yourself from succeeding in this. So if you're confused on what influencer is, message your mentor. It's just two sales, 2 enrollments, getting 2 people started, whether they're customers or affiliates. It doesn't matter. And you hit your first rank. Okay? That's the major goal. Is just get to that. I don't care what package it is. Let's get some people started. Let's get you to your goals. This is the first step of many. And I want you guys to set a clear, specific goal after this. Okay, but ask your mentors for more information on how you can hit this milestone. And we're going to drop everything that you need for all the information on and details on the bootcamp in GC Champions, the channel, and on the GC Champions Instagram account, okay? So that, guys, it was awesome doing this training for you. If you're excited for this bootcamp, drop a 3. Drop a 3 in the chat if you're excited for this. I'm excited for this because we're going to have so much momentum happening after this. And if you're brand new, I'm so excited and I'm so happy that you got started when you did. I just think of this as your first step of many to achieving the ultimate goal that you have. And I'm telling you, if you have an ultimate goal right now, that'll probably change in a couple of months because the ceiling will just keep growing. That lid will keep raising. That's pretty much it, team. It was awesome doing this for you guys. I'll see you in the next one, and all the details will be dropped. All right? Take care. Peace.